Hello, YouTubers, how are you doing? I'm doing well. I hope you asked. If not, I'll feel really sad. But, I have the house to myself right at the moment, so I moved out here so you guys would not have plain white background with plain blue background, as well as a couch with a Cook Kirby kind of chilling. Cook Kirby. As well as Toon Link and Quada no Machi Cookie pillows. But the what I wanted to do is I just finished this game here, the Sega Saturn, Wachenröder. Finished it last night, and I wanted to do a bit of a review for it. I was playing this for Gents challenge, so I am not a rascal. Yes. And some things that are tangentially related to it. It's a strat RPG. Came out in August '98 for the Sega Saturn. And you'll get my feelings about that, so I'm going to try to, not mention it so it's too redundant, so you can also see some gameplay footage of it and whatnot. So, yeah. Leave it at that. Actually, I do want to say one of the themes was composed by a musician who was a part of Foreigner, Ian McDonald, I think. I'm not a big follower of people's. I don't like. If you ask me who to name, the bands that members of, for example, Metallica or the Eagles, I can't do that. That's something I am completely on. So. I do want to say that some of the things in it, the booklet, one of the booklets has this very interesting design. If you do know this, good on you, but I'll leave it at that. I mean, you can find it out on Wikipedia, but it's a very interesting design, as well as a sticker. But, Wachenröder means, it's broken up from two words. One means to chop down, the other is, guards. So, pretty much means, to eliminate guards or to chop down guards. And the main character's name comes from a book. The main character's name is Lucian Taylor, and the main character of the book, The Hill of Dreams, is Lucian Taylor. Now, I tried to kind of figure out what in the Sam Blue Hell had, what was the big connection between these two. And you kind of get it at first, so this is kind of a book review as well as a game review. You get it a bit at first with just how the game opens up with Lucian Taylor has something happen in his life and he becomes very depressed. The problem is, it doesn't go into a greater detail with just character, emotions, and things like that for the game. The book. From what I got the game randomly. I got the game. I didn't get this game in Japan. I got it after I came back, and local game store had it. Guy, really nice guy. He was like, "Yeah, I never heard of it, but I have it." And I was like, "Well, I don't know very many people who are going to buy this, so I will buy this and try this." Now, because I was curious, I was looking up some information about it after I bought it. And seeing that the main character's name was taken from this book. So I got the book and I read through it. It's 220 pages, and it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, that looks like a lot of block of texts, but it's well written. It's got some really good language, and it's surreal. So there are aspects of it that are in reality, and some of it then slips into a dreamlike state. Sometimes it doesn't quite make itself known that you've slipped into a dream state, so sometimes you'll be reading along, you're like, "Oh, this is pretty normal," then all of a sudden it'll be like, whoa, that is not normal, that's not real. Allegedly, when I bought the book, it was mentioned that people like H.P. Lovecraft and Stephen King really liked the book. I don't know how true that is. I enjoyed the book. Not saying that I'm either one of those people. I wish I was as talented as those people. But that aside, this book is, I like it, but it is a product of its time. It was written probably around the 1890s, mid 1890s or so, published a little bit afterwards, and it is not, well, for example, around that time period, like mid 1800s, later on, even into the early 1900s, you have a lot of semi-autobiographical work, or work that, here are some truths in it, but you don't know how truthful it is. For example, in Japan, during the Meiji period, and afterwards, you had what was referred to as I novels. Like, for example, my favorite I novel was Konjiki Yasha. That's I know that's a bit of, don't need to pay attention to that. It's a bit of a really out there bit of information, but I like that book and that style of writing. It's just that's, for example, a little bit. Anywho, not going to bore you with that. Hopefully, wouldn't bore you with it, but that's not what this is about. Focus. Anywho, it's just a style of writing that was very, very dominant during that time period, and this is another one. It's a semi-autobiographical piece by Arthur Machen. So Arthur Machen wrote this in, or Machen, I don't quite remember. Here. Okay. But, it's about his time when he kind of came up during a time when in London it was very opulent, very cloistered groups of people who were writers, and in the book he's kind of like trying to be an aspiring writer, but there's problems. I mean, I think if you are trying to be I shouldn't say aspiring writer, maybe more aspiring author, but if you're wanting to do that sort of thing, I think this book would be an interesting read, because when I was reading it, there were certain feelings that I had when it came to writing and stuff that I felt that I agreed with. There's plenty of times where I'm like, man, all these other people write so wonderfully, and here's a bunch of crap that I'm writing, and it's good. And I've talked way too long on this part, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. The back end of this, there's my feelings about the game and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's it. Would I recommend the game? You'll hear that, but probably not. Just a spoiler alert on that part, right? Probably not. So yeah, here's some gameplay footage and my impressions on that. Now, some things I want to kind of talk about with this portion is how, I guess, my feelings about the whole thing. I really enjoy strat RPGs, particularly like turn-based ones. It's just something I really like. But this game really bothered me in that regard. I like the steampunk aspect of it. I like some of the music, but it kind of feels like it's on rail. Well, not kind of feels, but it's on rails a bit. You're going through a story, and the story is rather simplistic. I don't mean it like a negative way. The story's okay. Simplistic's not. Maybe generic kind of is also in that vein. It's so easy. That's the problem. This game is so easy. I like certain aspects of it, but the problem is that in comparison to some other games of the genre around the same time, it's so bare bones compared to like Final Fantasy Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics, while height isn't, I mean, there's certain maps where height is really a point to be made. In Wachenröder, it's definitely something that comes up a lot, is height and how you use that to your advantage, or how it puts you in a bit of a disadvantage. Now, like I was saying, it's a bit on rails. You just kind of go through the story. You only have a certain set amount of characters, and you plow through it. I mean, you get really, like, I was joking about them being like god characters, but they don't have any statistical information put for them, health or otherwise, and you can use them whenever they're around. I mean, I would put them in the party, but the game was so easy I didn't even really need to use them. They were just sitting there, and that boggled my mind more than anything of how easy the game was for it to be termed a strat RPG. The only difficult fight was the last one, and that one wasn't even really... I mean, you look at it and kind of think, okay, well, I need to do this, have to kind of navigate something. The boss does a whole lot of damage, but it really wasn't that much to overcome. A majority of the time, you just have to watch out for the main character dying. That's your losing conditions for damn near all of the battles. I think there's a couple of them where it has somebody else as well, but that's it. So just kind of keep Lucian at a distance so he doesn't get blasted by characters, and you're good. I mean, the other characters in the game can fall and they'll come back. I wanted to like this game. I thought this was going to be one of those kind of, ooh, new strat RPG that not a lot of people have ever really talked about. I can now figure out why a lot of people don't talk about this game. It's really substandard, for lack of a better word. It's so easy. But I said there's some of the aesthetic that's really nice. The concepts are okay, but they don't figure out a way to keep it from being abused. So I think that's a big problem. Is this game came out a year after Final Fantasy Tactics, and I bring that up because you look at that game compared to this game, and I don't know if they just, oh my goodness, excuse me, Tactics was so popular, let's go make something like that. But that's what Shining Force was for. I mean, this is just So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will catch you later. Have a good day.